Alright, what's going on guys? Kitsune TCG here back with another video, and today I thought I would do an update on my Swordsoul deck profile. Now obviously this is going to be post-April 2024 Banlist, so that is will be without, Baronne in the deck. Pretty big loss. Obviously that was a, kind of mainstay inboard for the deck. This one is going to be a Denglong build. I mean, you could very easily, I guess, include Protoss in here. I don't have Protoss in the deck. Just, it didn't really seem to have a very good impact in my testing and, throughout the YCS. Didn't, really kind of impact any, placement. So I just don't think that it's necessarily as strong as I think some people were worried it is. Obviously, it's a great card and, it can really win games. But I don't think it's going to be as consistent winning those games as some other cards that you can maybe include. So this is going to be the Denglong build, and I'll just kind of quickly go over what my main and extra deck looks like, and then I'll just kind of quickly show off a combo at the end. So starting with the main deck, obviously you're still maxing out on 3 long one. There's still some great level 10 sinkers that you can go into that are pretty good for your inboard. The quick sing long one, that is in and of itself still a really strong card, and it's pretty impactful still in today's meta with a lot of continuous spells and traps that you can just kind of easily deal with. 3 Moyi, obviously need to run 3 of this one. This is obviously going to be pretty important to bring out Denglong, as well as just getting you an additional draw. 2 Taya, just for going turn 2, or just even as well as your normal summon if you need to use it to go into Denglong. And finally 2 Ecclesia. Again, if you get kind of stuck going second, it's a really great card just to obviously have access to. 3 Emergence for consistency, and then the 1 Blackout. Obviously if you can get this in addition to everything else set up, that's just great. But it's definitely the thing that, you're probably not grabbing most of the time. Usually you're just going to grab long one to make the Synchro 10. 3 Ashuna. Now you do need to play 3 Adhara in this build, because this is obviously the way that you were going to get into Denglong. 2 Shudu, 1 Strihana. Now the other kind of inclusion is going to be using Vessel. This is really great if you just have access to any of the Tinnies, or you're able to get a, non-effect monster on board. Just going to help kind of bring a little bit more consistency to the deck. 2 Heavenly Dragon Circle. Kind of obviously gets you around like Valor Imperm. You could go into something like Crossout, which probably something maybe include in the side, or switch out in the main if you want. It's definitely an option. For the Yang Xing package, we do have Bien, Jiaotu, and then Shiwen. I think you need to play all 3. Jiaotu is really just there because sometimes you do synchro off Denglong before your opponent's turn, and you still want to have access to kind of going into Herald. The 1/9 pillar, you're only playing 2 Potted Desires because there are a lot of one-offs that you do care about, and I think 2 is just fine for a little bit of consistency. You don't want to draw into 2. It's nice if you find it. It's okay if you don't. They're just kind of inning and out with 9 hand traps. We do have 3 Ash, 3 Valor, and then 3 Imperm. Then I'll kind of quickly show off the extra deck and then go into a kind of test stand. Alright, and then just kind of quickly going over the extra deck here. We do obviously have the 1 Herald and the 1 Denglong. These are obviously going to be pretty important. They're obviously pretty main inboard pieces for your deck, so I don't really think you need to play more than 1. I think the 1 is just fine for both of them. Obviously, Denglong's only at 1, but you definitely don't need more than 1 Herald. Same thing with Yazi. It sometimes comes out, but it's not super impactful. The 2 Baxia is definitely needed. There's a lot of times where you are going to use its effect to bring back Moyi, or, Taya, or just whatever you need. You do have the 2 Qishao. Obviously another, again, just kind of important inboard piece. 1 Draco Berserker. I do have Dragite still in the deck. Obviously without Baron you have an extra slot, so I think that is what I would like to use it on. 1 Xiaofeng. Again, another thing that you can actually go into fairly easily in this deck, especially with Denglong being able to send whatever level you need in order to make a the 9-star synchro, especially with it being able to lock out voiceless voice, can be pretty helpful sometimes. So I do kind of like that overall. Chinging, another kind of really great card. Quixinglong one, I think it's your new go-to inboard 10-star synchro now that we don't have Baronne. Being able to get this early is obviously really good as well, just being able to get some extra draws, so this kind of depends on how your hand looks, but I think it's just kind of like a new thing to go into. You really obviously lose to Nibiru, so I don't... At this point, you just kind of have to accept it. If they have Nibiru, you know, unless you're playing cross out, you kind of just have to kind of go with it at that point. We do have the 2 monk and then the 1 shaman. So yeah, so that's what the extra deck looks like. I'll obviously show off a kind of quick combo and we'll go from there. And we'll just kind of quickly shuffle it up here, see if we can't show off a good combo here. So we do have Ecclesia, Ash, Vessel, Ash, and Vishudu. So actually not too bad of a hand here. We are kind of going to get to do any of the plays that we really want. Obviously Ecclesias in this case can just be our normal summon into any of the Swordsoul monsters that we need. The first thing we can do is kind of start off by specialing Vishudu. We're going to go into Monk. So now we control a non-effect monster, meaning we can get the most value out of Vessel. So we can send a worm monster. In this case, really what we can send... We have access to Swordsoul, so we really don't need to do anything or worry about not having access to that. So yeah, we could actually just still send Shuna, which will kind of help us out here in just a little bit. And we can grab Adhara. Now obviously a lot of times you're going to be using Ashuna to bring out Adhara, and that's totally fine. It'll still accomplish the same kind of thing this way, just get a little bit more value out of this because we can special this first. We can go special Ecclesia, or normal Ecclesia, that'll be a normal summon for the turn. From here, we do have to do a few things first. Now, we can just go ahead and use Ecclesia's effect. Now, we can't go into Moyi because we don't have a worm in hand currently. But we still can make Taya. We can go Taya effect, get rid of Vishudu. It's not really going to help us right now. And that will grab us the token. From here, just a few different options. We can go ahead and, yeah, let's go ahead and make Denglong here. We do have access to that 5-star synchro. Denglong effect, and then you can help block it with Taya. So Taya, don't really need to send anything, but we're definitely going to grab that is, and let me just think on what we want to send. We go and send Moyi. Probably have a chance of bringing that back. So I have 9 pillars in hand. Can go Denglong effect. Obviously, most of the time you are going to be sending Chiwen. This obviously just sets you up into being able to go into the Herald. From there, we can banish Ashuna. And bring out... wherever Shrihana is, if I can find it there. So now we have Shrihana, so we have the level 4 tuner. Shrihana, we can go ahead and just make Jishao. Chixiao's effect, we can just grab long one. And then with Adhara, banish that, get back Ashuna. And then we have everything here to go ahead and go long one, plus token into Quicksing long one. So, you know, we're able to burn with 1200 with long one. We have Quicksing long one to do 2400 more damage. And then we do have that Omni again. We didn't obviously get the draw off of Moe, which is unfortunate, but, you know, sometimes that happens. Plus, you know, we already have 2 in hand. We have Ash, which is really good. When you pass turn, obviously at any point, depending on like the interactions you want to use first, when you do decide to use 9 Pillar, you get rid of the Denglong, and this is going to kind of trigger a few things. So from there, you are going to have the Dinglongs left the field, so you are going to be able to summon out another Yangzing, and then you have Chi-Wen. So we'd go Dinglong, and then we have Chi-Wen. Chi-Wen's going to come out, and then it's going to allow us to get Bien. Now Bien is going to allow us to synchro on our opponent's turn to make the 4-star Herald. So depending on, you know, how your hand looks, obviously if you're able to get the blackout, all the better. But, you know, even without that, you know, we had an Omni Negate, another Omni Negate, 2 banishes, and a monster negate plus. You know, we drew an Ash, but it obviously depends on your hand. So overall, I think this deck can be pretty competitive. I don't by any stretch of the means think that it's going to be a tier 1, tier 1.5 deck, but I don't think the deck is dead, and I still think it can do a lot. Obviously, the Baronne version was better. It didn't require as many like kind of random bricks, but without it, I think this is definitely going to be the version I'll play, and I think it'll see some pretty decent success. So let me know down below what y'all think, and I will see y'all next time.